Folks, we always said it was never a question of if, but only when Iowa gun owners would pass constitutional carry law. We always told the politicians, we will get this done. The only question is how many political careers will line the gutter of Iowa politics before we get it done. And folks, moments ago, Governor Reynolds just signed into law constitutional carry here in Iowa. Iowa is the 19th constitutional carry state, thanks to the members of Iowa gun owners, you relentless army of freedom who has never, ever given up here in Iowa. Guys, I want you to bask in the glow of this victory because you guys, you nailed it. You nailed it. And constitutional carry is going to be law here in Iowa on July 1st. Guys, come on in. This is going to be a great video. I want you guys to get in here. I'm going to pause just for a moment while the crowd builds up. We have some watch parties being set up. But guys, this just happened. This just happened. And I want you to know this is only and completely and exclusively due to the members and supporters, the donors, the volunteers, the activists, the people, the army that is Iowa gun owners. You are the reason why this is done, why this fight has been finished. And I just want to thank you guys so much. It's been a long battle. It's been a really long fight from the beginning, but it is done. It is done. Freedom is ringing loud in Iowa today. And you can hear, if you listen, you can hear the wails and lamentations and the gnashing of teeth from Michael Bloomberg and his allies all across the state, in the Capitol, here in Des Moines, across the state, because folks, they thought this time would never come, and we always knew it was only going to be a matter of when and how many politicians would be left in the political gutter along the way. Guys, this is a huge day for freedom in Iowa, and it's all your credit. You guys have worked this relentlessly. The politicians in Des Moines realize that they have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to go. Every time they raised their heads on gun issues, it was IGO members who were there reminding them, this is what we elected you to do. This is what we want. And guys, you never gave up. You were relentless. Your pressure was relentless. Your calls, your emails, relentless. And that is what made this happen today. And on behalf of everybody with Iowa gun owners, I want to thank you so very much. This has been a long time coming. And there was a lot of politicians who said early on in this fight, yeah, you guys are all, piss and vinegar. You're all fired up. You want to make this happen, but you guys are going to get tired. You're going to give up, and you're going to go away. And you know what? We always knew that was bullshit, and we proved that, didn't we? We didn't go anywhere, but Mike Gronstal went away, and the entire Senate Democratic caucus is almost disappeared. And Pat Murphy and Kevin McCarthy, who blocked this bill way back in 2009 and 10, they're long gone. But the members of Iowa gun owners, guys, we are bigger and stronger and more organized than we have ever been before. And this is just the beginning. There is so much more that we're going to do now to protect our freedoms here in Iowa. We've got the Second Amendment Preservation Act coming up and so many other beautiful things. But I just need all of you to sit here for a moment and just bask in this glow, because this is nobody's victory but yours. You guys made this happen. You forced the politicians to do this. You forced the legislature to finally make this happen, and you forced Governor Reynolds to sign this bill into law moments ago. I just need you guys to congratulate yourselves and pat yourselves on the back, because in light of the national scene on the fight for gun rights, and light of what we're facing right now in Washington, D.C., to see states like Iowa take this step, be forced to take this step and pass constitutional carry, it is going to reverberate across the country. It already has been. I've gotten calls and emails and texts from legislators, from politicians, from all kinds of people in state capitals all across America who are still trying to finish this fight in their states. And the common question I always get is, well, how'd you guys get this done? You know, how have you gotten where you are? And I always told them the answer is really simple. There's no one politician who's going to solve this problem. There's no one person, there's no one man, no one woman in the legislature who's going to get this done if you don't have relentless, vicious gun owners mobilized and putting pressure on politicians. It's never going to happen. And that's exactly who the members of Iowa gun owners are. And that is exactly what we have going on today. As you guys know, this bill not only brings constitutional carry on board, and just to be clear for anybody who's watching this who doesn't quite know what we're talking about at this late hour, it just simply says if you want a permit to carry a gun, that's fine. If you want to add your name to the database, you can do that, but you don't have to. You never again have to get a permit from the government, add your name to a government database to carry a firearm. You never again have to get a permit from the government to buy a handgun here in Iowa in a private party sale. The government should have no idea who owns guns. The government should have no idea what guns you own. And now with this bill, we're going to phase out and get rid of the permit to purchase. You know, I think back to the early days. We had Representative Dwayne Alon's, a dear friend of mine. He's long since passed away now. Dwayne Alon's carried this bill for us for years from whole Iowa. This has been a major sub-objective of IGO for a long time. That has been taken care of in this bill. As you guys know, the preemption issue has been an on-again, off-again problem in Iowa, with cities and counties being able to limit the carrying of firearms because House Republicans weakened that language in 2017. That has been fixed. So your city, your county, your area cannot restrict your carrying of firearms either. And there's 4 or 5 other things in this bill. But the big headline that the media, that every town for gun safety, that all of the radical left has been losing their mind on all session is that Iowans can simply carry firearms without needing government permission first. And they hate it. They hate it. And I love it. And the members of IGO love it. And we have fought hard to make this a reality. And again, guys, I just cannot thank you enough. You know, every single thing we've done, every TV ad we ran, every digital ad, every radio ad we ran, every piece of mail that we've done to mobilize gun owners, every single thing that we have done to advance this bill is because you guys made it happen from the very beginning. It's been your donations that funded this entire program. It was your emails, your phone calls that drowned out the legislature this session. It was your emails. In case you missed our video yesterday, you've sent in so many emails this year, this session, that we have anti-gun blogs here in Iowa contacting us because the Democrats and some of the Republicans are claiming that it's impossible. There can't be this many people who care about the Second Amendment in my district. This has to be the work of bot technology. So we had a reporter call, and I was like, yeah, I got Vladimir Putin, right here on my phone. You want to talk to him? I mean, that's how much pain, that's how much pressure, that's how much mobilization you have wreaked on this legislature. And they had no other choice. They had no other choice but to take action on this bill because you left them with no other choice. And I cannot say it enough. It's been 13 years. that we have been building up to this day. And there's been so many people who have played a role in this. You know, we had Representative Tom Shaw, who carried this bill for us in the House for years. We've had Representative Jeff Shipley pushing this bill for the last, 3 or 4 years now. We've had Senators David Hartsuch way back in 2009, 2010. We had Senator Kent Sorensen, who was a absolute champion for this issue for many, many years. We had Senator Rick Bertrand, one of the best tacticians I have ever worked with in the legislature, who was the lead on this bill for 2000, what was that? I can't remember now. 15, 16, 17, 18 perhaps was the years. So many people that carried this torch, but propping all of that up, always behind the scenes, was the members of Iowa gun owners. And you guys did it, and we delivered, and we won big, and we won in a year when so many people said, there's no way to do this now. There's no way, with the Democrats mobilizing all across the state, across the country for Biden's gun control agenda. Now is no time to try to fight for a bill like this. And we just always kept reminding the politicians that, yeah, well, we don't care what's going on in D.C. We care about what's going on here in Iowa, where the members of Iowa gun owners have been destroying anti-gunners' careers since 2010. And so you have a choice to make. This is I said this to hundreds of legislators over the years. You have a choice to make. You can support the bill. You can oppose the bill. I don't really give a damn, because if you oppose the bill, our members will take care of that problem at election time. And you guys have been ruthless. You have been ruthless. Dozens and dozens of gun grabbers have been removed from office by the ferocious members of Iowa gun owners. You had no help from national organizations. You had no help from anybody else. It's always been the members of Iowa gun owners who stood up and made this happen every 2 years. It was the members of Iowa gun owners who walked with me, so many of our volunteers, my children, as we went door to door in Council Bluffs, lit dropping right before Election Day about Mike Gronstall's hatred for gun owners. It was the members of Iowa gun owners who came in to Marshalltown and helped us go house to house, door to door, passing out material. That's after we did our radio ads, our TV ads, our digital ads, our direct mail, our slicks, all of it. It's been IGO members for over a decade who have stood up for freedom every single time we ask you guys to do that. Whether you've been a donor, whether you've taken action by making phone calls, sending emails, whether you ran for office, whatever it was that you have done, the part you've played, I cannot thank you enough. It has come full circle, and Iowa is the 19th constitutional carry state. Despite what all the media wanted, despite what Michael Bloomberg wanted, despite what the Des Moines Register wanted, I can't wait to see the tears that they're going to cry in their beer in the news tomorrow. Despite what all of these lefty, America-hating, freedom-hating, gun-hating trolls wanted, we did it. And Iowa is the 19th constitutional carry state. And guys, this, like I said a minute ago, will send reverberations around the country. You will see other legislators now and full legislatures now look at this and say, you know what, by God, if they can do it, we can do it too. If they can do it, we can do it too. And that's exactly why this is such an important time right now in 2021, as we feel the full weight of the Biden White House push down on our freedom, try to take away our firearms, try and pass statewide or nationwide gun registration. To see Iowans, to see the members of Iowa gun owners stab this flag of freedom in the dirt and say, not here. Freedom is still the thing we cherish most, the thing we prize most here in Iowa. This was a victory that's needed, not just in our state, but across the country, and I cannot thank you enough. I gotta check some of the comments here. There's been so many here. I haven't even had a chance to even check them. Actually, I'm not even getting comments right now on this feed, so I'm gonna have to. Well, a couple are here popping up. I see my good friend Ryan Waters on here saying, "Good job, guys." Again, Ryan, it's your victory. It's the members of IGO who have made all of this happen. I'm just gonna check on my phone here. I'm gonna answer the many questions and some of the comments that you guys have posted. I want you guys to know also, we're gonna have a recap video on this fight in the very near future. It could be this weekend. It could be first part of next week. I'm going to have some old hands who've been involved in this fight for many, many years, my brothers Chris and Ben Dorr, and we're going to have a video, a recap on this fight, because this didn't just happen. This didn't happen on its own. This happened because you guys took care of business, but more than that, oh, let me kill that audio there. But more than that, this happened because we were relentless against many, many, many politicians and the governor who needed a reminder of what Iowans expect them to do. Let's see. I see Len saying, "Thank you so much, Iowa gun owners." Alex, this is great news. Dennis Pulse makes a great point. Dennis says, SEPA is next, folks. We can do it again. Keep the pressure up. I'm going to tell you again right now, we're going to roll immediately into the Second Amendment Preservation Act. That is the fight that we are going to have to wage here in Iowa. Because right now, this is a huge advancement of freedom for Iowa. But obviously, if Joe Biden tries to use executive action or could actually pass gun control through the Congress, that would limit our freedoms drastically in red states all across the country, and especially here in Iowa. But we can stop him, and we can stop all of them with the Second Amendment Preservation Act, which would nullify federal gun control. So, Dennis, don't worry about that, man. We are not even going to pause. We'll pause for a couple days. You guys pat yourself on the back over this incredible weekend, Easter weekend, but that fight's going to resume with a vengeance very, very shortly. Just reading some of the comments here. There's so many comments. I can't even answer them all right now. People are saying, when does it take effect? July 1st. July 1st is the date. So this is April 2nd. So a couple months away, folks. Just a couple more months. I got a phone call yesterday from a young lady, a young woman, very, very young gal in Osceola. And she had just received a firearm, a handgun that she got, and she wanted to know basically, what do I have to do now that I have this handgun? How do I go about the process of carrying it? She said, I'm very young. I have basically no money. What do I do? What hoops must I jump through? And I said, well, it depends on how fast, if you already have the gun and what your schedule is. But I said, in a couple months, if the governor signs a bill, you don't have to jump through any hoops. You don't have to pay the government a fee. You don't have to add your name to a government database. And this gal began to cry on the phone because she's basically has no means to afford a permit process, and she didn't want to be vulnerable. Young woman, alone. She said, to be honest, I live in a sketchy part of Osceola in an apartment complex that I don't really care for. And anybody that knows Osceola knows that there's plenty of that in and around Osceola. And she said, I just need to be able to defend myself. So you're telling me that if she signs this, I can just carry it in my purse? I don't have to do anything to appease the government? And I was like, no, nothing. That is the freedom that we've fought for. That is what you have delivered for gun owners here in Iowa. The ability for law-abiding Iowans to simply carry a firearm anytime they want for self-defense without having to bend the knee to the government, without having to pay fees to the government, having to add your name to a database like a convicted criminal. And that is the freedom that you guys have made possible. There's a lot of folks in the legislature, some pretty arrogant fuds who haughtily attacked the idea of constitutional carry, and those people who have fought so hard for it, saying, "Well, I'm gonna continue to get my permit. I'm not gonna use this constitutional carry statute," and that's fine for some people. There's a lot of folks who are suffering in Iowa. There's a lot of folks who don't have the time to take off of work, to go to classes, to pay fees to the government, to exercise a right that is God-given and constitutionally guaranteed. And that is the folks that we have been fighting for 13 years. That is the people who will benefit the most from this freedom. And it's your victory. You guys accomplished every single piece of this. Nobody thought we would ever get this far here in Iowa. I remember the first time I walked in the Capitol in 2009 talking with some state reps, most of whom are all gone now, some of whom are still there. And they said, what do you want? What does this organization want? And I said, we don't want to have to pay the government a damn dime to carry a firearm. We don't want to have to add our name to a database to carry a firearm. We just want freedom. And they laughed and they said, well, right now we've got may issue, so we're never going to get beyond, shall issue if we're lucky. If we're lucky. And we said, well, yeah, we'll wait and see about that. And boy, did we ever. You guys, all I can say, you have been absolute savages for freedom. You have destroyed careers. You have ended political dynasties in this state, all because anti-gun politicians, and I'm talking about both sides of the aisle, they stood up and said, screw you. We're going to kill your bill. And they did, year after year after year. But you guys never gave up. You never gave up. And I could not be more proud of you for this. Could not be more proud. Well done. Well done. Every single member of this organization, every single member, the donors, the activists, those who've made phone calls, sent in emails. Guys, well frickin' done. You made this happen. I can't see a lot of the comments right now. I'm not sure why I can't. I apologize, guys. My feed is not working properly. Some are asking about, does this apply if you're a resident of Iowa or not? There is no residency requirement to this bill, so that would cover that. People are asking, what about when you travel out of state? That depends on where you're going. If you go to Missouri, it's also a constitutional carry state. There's no permits or paperwork required. Same thing for South Dakota, for example, another contiguous state. If you want to travel outside of a constitutional carry state, then the permit would be the requirement to get the reciprocity that you would need. So that's the way that works. Again, people are asking about the date. Takes effect on July 1st. July 1st. Shane says, finally, this is supposed to be a free country, though. Yeah, it took a long time. It took a long time. But we got it done. Steve says, dadgummit, I just moved to Florida, but congrats to Iowa. Well, Shane, that's going to be fought in that state as well. I know that's a big issue in Florida, and just keep fighting, man. Keep fighting. Mark Baker says, so proud of IGO and all of its members. You're doggone right, Mark, and you've been one of them for a very, very long time. Let's see. Greg says, now we have to praise the governor. No. We'll talk about that later. The governor did it, but she did it because she was forced to do it. I'm not going to say that we're not mad at her, but it shouldn't have taken 11 days. And there's a lot more backstory on this topic. We're going to talk about this in a future video. The credit goes to one entity, and that is the relentless members of Iowa gun owners. You never gave up. You absolutely never, ever gave up. No permit to carry a firearm for self-defense in Iowa after July 1st. No permit to buy a handgun here in Iowa after July 1st. Private party sales are again legal in Iowa after July 1st. You cannot be evicted from an apartment if your apartment building takes or receives any government money. You cannot be evicted only because you are a gun owner ever again after July 1st. The preemption problems have been cleaned up. No city or county can ever again restrict or try to restrict your gun rights freedom in Iowa after July 1st ever again. Guys, this has been a monumental advancement of your freedom. I think it's probably just that much, maybe that much, under the fight for freedom that we wrapped up in 2017 with Stand Your Ground law. That was a monumental achievement as well. But this is just right up there with it. We have now taken Iowa from 13 years ago, Iowa, when Iowa Gun Owners was founded. Iowa was one of the worst states, frankly, in the country when it came to Second Amendment freedom. We had a very abusive may issue concealed carry law, so the sheriff may issue and he may not. And when IGO got started, 29,000 Iowans had a permit. It only applied to those in a select few counties. Only in a select few counties. And over the years, that number has now ballooned to well over 400,000 Iowans. But back then, again, we had may issue, and it was horribly abusive. We had no stand your ground law protections at all. You had to retreat if you were attacked by a criminal in public. You had to retreat before you could take action to defend yourself and your loved ones. It was a crime. It was a crime for you to allow your minor children under the age of 14 to shoot a handgun. You were a criminal for teaching them on your own property how to defend themselves with a handgun. I can go on and on and on. We have some of the worst gun laws in America in terms of any of the Midwestern states for sure. And guys, it took 13 years, but man, we have now leapfrogged Iowa way forward, way forward. Freedom rings loud today, guys, in Iowa, and I just cannot thank you enough. The only reason this happened is because of the members of Iowa Gun Owners. Some of the comments here. A lot of questions on the date. Again, it's July 1st. It's July 1st. Let's see. That's the date. Jeff says, heck yeah, it's about time. Logan says, or Jeff says, gun-free zones still apply. This does not deal with carrying on school property. That's a separate issue, separate bill, have to be dealt with later on. This is constitutional carry. Let's see. How easy will this be for it to be repealed? I don't want it to be, but should we expect this to be gone when the pendulum swings? Says Justin. Justin, all I can tell you is that IGO members are bare-knuckled brawlers, and we will fight like dogs to keep this law on the books, and we will fight like dogs to expose any politician anywhere who tries to repeal it. So don't worry about that. Let's see. Mike says it's about time. Exactly. Dan says, now watch the crime rate lower. You're doggone right. Many states that passed constitutional carry have seen a low but definitive crime rate decrease. That's what happens when you give people freedom. It's not a big surprise, right? Let's see. Reload, people. It's time to make SEPA a reality, says my good friend Gary J. You're doggone right. We had the bill already filed, House File 518. That's going to be the push. It's a good day to be an Iowan, says Shane Hayward. Yeah, I like that. Haywood, excuse me. That's right, Shane. It's a good day. It's a good day for freedom. It's a good day for the members of Iowa Gun Owners who have fought so hard to make this happen. Cannot thank you guys enough. Missouri has dropped since 2016, says Dan Young. Yeah, absolutely. I was involved in that fight. Dan, I helped draft constitutional carry in Missouri, and actually we undrafted it basically because all we had to do was take the requirement that you have a permit out of the code, and that's been taken care of. Alex has been very involved in this fight for years. It's about time. Absolutely. Seth says number 19. Very good. Brian says, what's the next step on ammo manufacturing? Brian, that's just way above my pay grade, man. I hope it comes back. I will say I've seen some ammo pricing coming down, and I've seen some ammo coming into stock for the first time in a long time. So I think we might see some bottoming out on this. We'll have to wait and see. David said also our castle doctrine laws sucked back then. You're darn right. Yep. Tamara says, thank you for your help on this, Aaron. Tamara, I can't pronounce your name wrong. I spin my high honor. I have loved having the ability to harness and to mobilize so many people that shared in the board's love of freedom and watching us pound against the rocks year after year after year, making more progress every single year. We were betrayed. We were blocked. We were defeated. Like I said again, we were betrayed more than we were defeated, and you guys never gave up. And I'm so proud to have been a part of this fight. I'm looking at one last check. Lisa says, did it pass? Yes, it is done. It has been passed. Appreciate that. All of your support. Let's see. Michael says, awesome for my fellow Americans and Iowans. Thank you, IGO. And everybody else had the courage to make this law here in Iowa. Absolutely. Absolutely. Doreen says, remember to thank Iowa gun owners for their hard work in getting this done. Doreen, like I said, we love it. We love fighting for freedom, and the members of IGO are the only reason why this has happened, and I just cannot thank you guys enough. I had a phone call right before I went live from our board members, and he said, you know, Aaron, we've been involved in this, you and I, for 13 years, and it's been a big, big, big effort. But he said, you know, it's never would have happened, would have it, if it hadn't been for the members. They never got tired of fighting for freedom. They never gave up. They never gave in. All the times that we had politicians attack Iowa gun owners, all the times that we had lobbyists attack Iowa gun owners members, we had statewide media attacking us, we have national media attacking us. You guys just never gave up. You never cared about that crap, because we know at the end of the day, this is about making Iowa a safe and a free state for our children, for our grandchildren. And we're sending a message. We're sending a message here today that anybody who tries to attack our gun rights in this state will pay a heavy, heavy price at election time. And that goes on both sides of the aisle. And it's only because you guys have fought so freaking hard. So hard. I'm just reading some of the comments here. Looks like Timothy Richardson is on here trying to use the race card. I love it. I love it. Every time anybody does anything good, then we always have the liberal left come on here and say we're a bunch of racists. Timothy Richardson, you're the one here. I'm just reading your comment here. You says, giving conservative white Americans the right to carry guns will be used to harm other races. I'm supposed to be happy about this? Nah, he says. Timothy, you're the racist, my man. You're the racist. If you had any common sense, if you had any ability to look at the reality of gun control, you will see it has been used to harm minorities more than anybody else. What constitutional carry is going to do, what Stand Your Ground law did, was protect everybody equally. And it gives everybody the chance to defend themselves from criminals, from tyrants, from thugs. How would you not want that for yourself? How would you ever want to go back to a situation where your sheriff could say, I don't want you to carry a gun because I don't like the color of your skin? That's what we had in Iowa up until 2010. You're the racist, Timothy, because your ideology will lead to minorities being unable, or at least not as able, to get a firearm for self-defense. You should be ashamed of yourself for being so foolish and how your own rhetoric would be used against you. But you know what? You don't have to worry about that, because the members of Iowa gun owners have taken care of this business. So don't worry about that. Eric Duffy says, what about Dick? We'll talk about Dick, Eric. Not today. This is our day. This is IGO members' day. We'll talk about that. I guarantee you, Eric, we'll talk about that. Dominique says, too bad I live in California. Yeah, I hear you, Dominique. But it's a good day for Iowans. It's a good day for freedom. It's just a great day. Tristan says, when does this go into effect? July 1st, Tristan. July 1st. Jake says, this blows my mind. Everything is about race and racism, but he's totally fine to point fingers at white people. What a time we live in. What a time we live in. Absolutely. And to go on, you say, we all have the right to defend ourselves regardless of our color, shape, and size. Doggone right. You doggone right. Larry says, is there still a need to get a permit to carry in Iowa? Larry, there won't be after July 1st. That's what this bill does. July 1st, freedom is restored here in Iowa. And you guys are fantastic. You guys have never quit. And I cannot possibly tell you how much of a victory this is, especially in 2021. It's absolutely a monumental achievement, and it's been made possible by you guys. I mean, there's so many subcommittee hearings, so many events, hundreds of gun shows, all of the work, the petitions, the emails, the phone calls by the tens and tens of thousands. You guys did all of this. You did all of it. Like I said, there's definitely some folks along the way who have carried this torch for freedom. I mentioned him earlier. I'm going to mention him again. Tom Shaw was a legend in the fight for Second Amendment freedom in Iowa. In his time in the Iowa House, he was a legend. And I want to thank Tom Shaw for his work. Tom Shaw forced a vote on this bill when his own Republicans worked to kill it. And that set off a chain reaction event that has put us where we are today. So I want to thank Tom Shaw in the House. Definitely want to thank Jeff Shipley for his work in the House. Want to thank so many people in the Senate. Like I said, way back in the day, we had David Hartsuch, 2009, 2010. David Hartsuch was a champion for Second Amendment freedom. Always was. We had Senator Ken Sorensen, who never, ever wavered on his support for constitutional carry. And I am proud to thank him for all of his work in safeguarding freedom during his time in the Iowa Senate. We had Senator, I almost said Eric Burleson. That was our senator in Missouri who fought the fight there. No, we had Senator Rick Bertrand from Sioux City. Rick was and is a very close personal friend, and Rick was just a dynamo. He was a tactician's tactician in the caucus room trying to advance the Second Amendment. There was just too many rhinos in the chamber during his time, but Rick never gave up. I called these guys a little bit ago today and thanked them because they carried this torch. You guys were the gas. We lit it on fire. We heated up the Capitol. These guys carry the torch, and it's vital that we mention their name for posterity's sake because they played their role. Dean says, thank you, IGO. Thank you, Dean. Barb says, so very proud to be an Iowan. Yes. Brian says, didn't Tennessee do anything today as well? Brian, so it's passed the legislature in Tennessee, and it's on the governor's desk in Tennessee. He has said he will sign it. I checked before we went live, and he had not signed it as of the most recent media alerts that I could find, so I'm not aware of that. Patty says, I need a new gun. It's time for a new gun. That'd be a great way to celebrate this. We should all go out and buy ourselves a new gun. I dig it. Billy says, does this mean there's no need to wait 3 days for a permit to purchase? Billy, yeah, there's no more permit to purchase effective July 1st. You can either A, go through a NICS check. You can B, have a carry permit, which covers that NICS check. Or C, you can buy a gun privately with no need to have the government know what you're buying, which is my favorite choice, to be clear. Can we still get a permit to other states will honor our permits? Yeah, Larry, you can still get a permit. We have not in any way touched, modified, destroyed, or otherwise altered shall issue law. That remains in effect. That's not going to change. So you're good to go on that. Billy says, there are black conservative gun owners in this country too. Oh, you're damn right there are. I've met tons of them. Rodney says, so when do we start on SAPA law? Rodney, it's House File 518. It's in the Public Safety Committee. We are already on this fight, and that fight's going to begin in earnest again tomorrow morning. Mo says, Timothy Richardson, the only people who would say what you're saying are criminals. I'm sorry, who would do what you're saying are criminals. Crime, after all, is illegal. You doggone right. Let's see. Thank you, Iowans. Many people are saying. Rick says, hell yeah, baby. Gonna eat steak tonight. I like that idea. What if I can call my wife quick enough and have her thaw something out? Should do that. Warren says, I'm very proud of everything, and thank you for all the hard work, and thank you. Victory. Absolutely your victory. Oh, good. I got to be honest. We've been going live for about 40 minutes. 40 minutes. And I was starting to get concerned. I was like, is it possibly true that we're going to go through an entire Facebook live video and not have a lefty troll get on here and attack constitutional carry? And I'm so thankful, Rhonda Applegate. You have taken this wonderful day and made this wonderful video that much more fun because she is the first anti-gun troll. Rhonda says, this is a very bad thing for Iowa. We already can carry with a permit. This is not about freedom. It's about power and control and money for gun groups and legislators. Rhonda, it's okay. We know you hate freedom. Just go cry off in the corner. You're angry because you guys are totally impotent and you can't stop anything. You've lost all of your champions. You've lost all of the gun grabbers who were in charge of the Senate, who were in charge of the House, who were in charge of the committees, and all you can do now is whine. It's people like you, Rhonda, who would sit there and cheer if the anti-gunners were able to pass legislation that would disarm all of us and send government officials to our door to take our freedoms away. You are the lowest of the low here in the state, Rhonda. And like I said, it's just all you can do is whine, sweetheart, because you've nothing else to do. You guys are amazing, guys. This is what you've done, Iowans. This is what we've done. You have taken all of Bloomberg's attacks, negated them, shut them down, and we have passed the biggest expansion of freedom in such a long time. I could not be happier. Donna says, thank you to everyone who worked for this, who emailed, who called, who messaged. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't echo that any louder, Donna. Very well said. Very well said. Gary says, we've already begun the fight on SEPA legislation. We'll resume the fight. We'll resume that fight very soon. Doggone right. Doggone right. Sean said, just got home and just got on. What happened? Sean, the governor signed constitutional carry just a little bit ago, and we now have had a massive step forward in Second Amendment freedom thanks to the incredible work of the members of Iowa gun owners. Let's see. Michael says, this means then I can buy a firearm after July 1st minus having to go to the class or go to the sheriff's office. I travel for work and I'm home 15 to 30 days a year. I don't have time for that stuff. Yes, Michael, that's correct. As long as you are legally eligible to own and possess a firearm, you can carry that firearm on your person, in your truck, in your bag, whatever it is, after July 1st without having to get government permission. Absolutely. Absolutely. James says, thank you, but one question. How does this affect me carrying in other states? So, James, again, like I said, if you go to Missouri or South Dakota or other constitutional carry states, you can just go right there. That's no problem. If you're going to go to a non-constitutional carry state, your shall issue permit would be required, and that would give you the reciprocity that you're talking about in your comment section here. I'm getting so many texts on my phone offline. I'm having a hard time not to respond to some of these, but a lot of people are giving the members of IGO well wishes, lobbyists in other gun rights organizations from across the country, legislators. You guys have earned it. You guys have earned it. This is the greatest news that we've had here in Iowa for years. Thank you for all you've done to help get this bill passed, says Julie Marie. Thank you, Julie. What a lovely family you have. Those are the folks, those two kids I see there on that bridge. That's why we did this. So you can defend your children. The hell with what the government says or thinks or wants to charge you. Just defend your family. Defend your family. Alexandra Garo, my friend. Trolls mean you're winning, and the tyrants are starting to shake in their boots, an internet badge of honor. Doggone right. Doggone right. Very happy to know you, Alex. Or Alexa. Excuse me, I pronounced your name wrong. There's so many comments. Someone's making some comment about driving and needing to get a license to drive. Yeah, and Dennis Pulse nails it. Says, yeah, it's because driving is not in the Constitution. Hello? Absolutely. Absolutely. Jeff says, does this protect law enforcement officials? In what way, Jeff, do you mean? Because, of course, they can already carry firearms on the job. Obviously, they can get professional permits to carry with their department. They can now carry with no permit required as well after July 1st. So give me some more details there, Jeff, and I'll try to answer your question as best I can. Tamara says, you lose, Rhonda. Go home. I love that. I love that. Like Jennifer says here, it's just the restoration of freedom. It's just the restoration of freedom. And that's exactly what this is. We're just getting us back to where we always should have been. We never, as Iowans, as free people, we never should have had to pay a fee, beg permission, add our name to a government database to exercise our inherent right as Americans, as free people, to carry a firearm. Rodney makes a very good point. Rodney says, we need a new IGO t-shirt that says, we won. Rodney, I like that. I'm going to have to make some phone calls on that. I like that. Darren says, it's not even about being able to carry without a permit. It's more about our rights being saved. Exactly. This is about the Second Amendment, man. The Second Amendment. Jed Dickens, good to see you. I'm glad you made it, Jed. I never know what time zone you're in. Jed says, can you hear me screaming victory from Saudi Arabia? I'll be back home to my great state of Iowa on May 1st. I'm glad to hear that, Jed. Glad you're safe. I watch your Facebook feed. You have some awesome pictures from time to time. Be safe out there, man. Let's see. Jeff says, again, 2 questions. Does this help law enforcement officers? And what about AR 223556? How are these affected? So, Jeff, there's no impact of any kind on rifles, on any guns themselves, on any firearm or caliber. Just says if you're a law-abiding Iowan, you can carry a firearm for self-defense without having to get government permission. So that covers the last part of your question. And again, I don't quite know what you mean by does this help law enforcement. It certainly is a great thing because you're going to have more law-abiding Iowans who have a firearm and access to firearms, which always helps peace officers. We've seen this video play out so many times over the years where an officer is fighting for his life with a very violent criminal, usually hopped up on narcotics, and it's a law-abiding Iowan who comes along, or citizen rather, comes along and protects that officer with his privately owned firearm. So this will certainly help our peace officers in that way. Let's see. Larry Hart says, awesome. Thank you again to Iowa gun owners. Thank you again, Larry, to the members of IGO. You have fought and won big. There's just no other way to say it. It's just freedom has been secured here in Iowa, and you guys did it against all the odds, against all of the media who try to shut you down, the Bloomberg hacks who try to shut you down, the Republicans on the right who betrayed you off and on over the years, the Democrats who killed this bill for years, off and on. You never gave up. And that is what it takes. Something this big the first day, the first time, it's always a constant animation for freedom. Our founding fathers knew this. They didn't hack out a free country in the first engagement with England. They did it over years. They suffered, they fought, they worked hard towards victory. Our victory, of course, is smaller. We were not engaged in trying to carve out a new country, but it's the same general principle. Americans who love freedom, who never gave up. And I can't thank you enough. Rhonda says, awesome. I'm so glad we won this. I'm so glad we won. Jeff Love says about, this is the law enforcement question. All right, Jeff, 3rd time. This is the last time I'm going to answer this. He said, what about a person who's pulled over on a traffic stop? Well, Jeff, as you know, I get the impression you are probably retired law enforcement. As anybody in law enforcement knows, Anybody knows. When you pull over a car, the law enforcement officers always assume the driver is armed, and they always assume the person in the car could kill them. That's how they're trained to act. So that's not going to change at all, number one. And number two, the criminals are the ones who are already carrying guns, and if they want to try to attack a citizen or a police officer, that's not going to change with this law. All this does is make it easier for the good guys to carry firearms. And I agree with you, Jeff. This is what our forefathers gave to us. You're damn right. Chastity says, when will ammo be in stock? Chastity, if I could answer that question, I'd be a rich man. I have no idea, but I am seeing some encouraging news on this front. Chris says, what happened? Just got signed on. Chris, constitutional carry has been signed into law today, and it will be effective July 1st in Iowa. You will never again have to bow the knee to the state of Iowa to carry a firearm for self-defense. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Jeff is asking, or someone's asking about any requirement to notify law enforcement when you're carrying. No. And we would have fought that very hard had that come up, because the simple fact of the matter is that's only going to set up terribly violent altercations with, on the side of the road that don't have to happen. The majority of states with shall issue and constitutional carry don't have that, because that's the whole reason. All it does is make things more tense on the side of the road, just for no reason whatsoever. So we definitely would have opposed that, and that is not in this bill. Gene says, do they still have background checks? So Gene, there's all kinds of ways I can answer this question. The short answer is that background checks don't do crap. They just don't do crap. The Boulder, Colorado shooter passed a background check. So did the guy in Atlanta, Georgia from 3 weeks ago. Background checks don't stop anybody. Everybody knows it. They're only designed to build a database of gun owners. So to answer your question specifically, yeah, if you buy a gun through a dealer, through a NICS check, yeah, there's a background check there. But if you want to buy a handgun or a long gun from somebody through a private sale, you could do that. Way to go, Iowa, says Steve. Restoring our freedom. You're doggone right. Robert says, this is only for open carry. That's not true, Robert. That is totally not true. Not true. Let's see. Oh, man, guys, there's so many comments. There's just so many people who love freedom today who are commenting here. I can't thank you enough. Any carry, open or concealed, says Jennifer. That's correct. Sean says, let everyone know our country is watching us. You're darn right, Sean. I've been involved in these massive victories before. Of course, here in Iowa in 2017. In Wyoming, our sister organization passed Stand Your Ground law in 2018. In Missouri, our sister organization, the Missouri Firearms Coalition, passed both this bill and Stand Your Ground law at one time. And every time this happens, politicians, good ones, the legislators who actually care for freedom around the country, they see these victories and they are inspired to fight harder for freedom. More importantly, other gun owners across the country see the success that their fellow brothers and sisters in arms have had, and they push harder for freedom. And that's what this does. This sends off a massive dose of adrenaline and encouragement to gun owners. I can tell you right now, I'm very busily helping the fight for freedom in Georgia with Georgia gun owners, and Georgians want this bill more than ever. And to see Iowa get this year, to see Utah get this year, to see Montana get this year, to possibly, likely, see Tennessee get this year is going to push them harder than ever before in Georgia. So everywhere where gun owners don't have this legislation, this yearning for freedom, it's only made stronger because of the victory that you have made possible here in Iowa. Well done. Well done. Let's see. Thank you to everyone who helped make this happen, says Tim. Absolutely. Diana Baker, Diana's been a member for years, says, congratulations, Iowa. Thank you, Donna, for your support, and Marks for all this time. Appreciate that very, very much. Make real criminals fear the good people again. I like that. Can we fit that on a hat? I'm not sure if you could fit. It's more than MAGA, but I like that. Make criminals fear good Iowans again. I like that. I like that. Let's see. Freedom's coming back to Iowa, baby, says Rick. Freedom's here, man. Freedom's here. Freedom's here. Let's see. Jeff says, I just want to thank you for what you've done, sir. Don't call me sir. Just call me Aaron. That's all good, man. For what you all have done, even Columbine. After Columbine, I can't quite read this comment here. People tried the same thing. And after Atlanta and after Aurora, after the movie theater shooting, it always is the same thing. They're always trying to push gun control. And that's what's so sweet about this victory, is we have taken all that BS, all the lies they used in those shootings, and we have made it clear here in Iowa that we're not going to fall for your crap. We know the shooter in both Georgia and in Colorado passed a background check. That didn't do a damn thing to stop him. We know that Colorado already has red flag gun seizure laws and statewide gun registration. It didn't stop a dang thing. Gun control doesn't stop criminals. Here's the little secret. Gun control was never designed to stop criminals. It was designed to stop us. It was designed to restrict us and our freedom. And that's why this victory is so huge. Cody says, freedom wins again. Thank you for everyone who pushed this bill. We finally got it done. Our right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Capital letters. I love that, Cody. You're damn right. It's a great day to be an Iowan, says JJ. Oh, man, there's a lot going on. Sean says, thank you for mentioning me. Peace and God bless. Absolutely, man. This has been a team effort for years. You guys have been unyielding. When we go out of state, do we need a permit to carry, says Jerry from Sioux City. Yeah, again, Jerry, it depends on what state you go to. If you go to a constitutional carry state, then no. If you go to a shall issue state, then your shall issue permit would likely, depends on where you're going, that permit would cover you from a reciprocity standpoint in that state. So that would cover you on that. Let's see. Trevor says, thank you, Aaron, for your hard work on this. Trevor, again, I have been honored to be the mouthpiece of so many Iowans who cared about freedom. I always tell this to the politicians, all for years and years and years. I always laugh and I say, you people think I'm a hard ass? I mean, you guys actually think that I'm mean? You should talk to the members of Iowa gun owners. They despise politicians who stand in the way of their freedom. And God, so I blamed you, Trevor. I mean, I just pointed back to you. I was your mouthpiece, and I told these politicians what they could expect if they would not protect our freedom. And you guys delivered time and time and time and time again. Brennan says, I just bought a new shotgun in honor of this sweet, epic victory. Good for you, Brendan. I love that. I love that. Let's see. Thank you for keeping us informed. Thank you so much. Aaron says Clayton. No problem. Tim says congrats. You guys are going to be just like Idaho. No kidding, Tim. We have great friends in the Idaho Second Amendment Alliance. Greg Pruitt, good friend of mine. You guys delivered this big victory in Idaho back in 2016, and then you've expanded that freedom to include people down to the age of 18 as well. It's been a huge victory in Idaho. You guys have fought hard. You've earned that victory as well. Robert Hansen says, do federal laws affect do federal laws affect our Iowa laws? Yes, I mean they do, insofar as we don't have SEPA legislation on the books yet. So that's going to have to happen next, Robert, and you can rest assured we'll be, again, leading that charge. Let's see. Thank you, IGO, for all you have done for Iowa and the other states, says Chuck. This has been a huge victory, Chuck, no doubt about it. Thanks, Aaron, for leading this fight for freedom and inspiring all of us to get involved through emails and phone calls. Justin, again, man, this only happens because people like your wife, people like all of you, you're the ones who did this. You're the ones who never gave up. You're the ones that never gave in. It's your victory, And you're the one that has scared the politicians in Des Moines to their core. They ultimately knew they had no choice. They had to make this happen. Oh, man, it's just so much going on. I'm buying a new gun to celebrate, says Josiah. That's kind of a reoccurring theme here. I'm going to have to talk to my wife. So far, I was told to have a steak tonight. I dig that. And somebody else is saying we should buy guns to celebrate. I like that, too. Tim Worth, longtime supporter, says, yes, congratulations, IGO. Thank you, Tim, for your support. Appreciate that, man, more than you know. Tom says, great, long-fought victory. Now, let's fight for SEPA. Totally got you, man. We're going there. Alex says, belated happy birthday. Thank you very much, Alex. I appreciate that. Jeff says, my cousin is 17. Is he allowed to purchase a weapon now since this law has passed? No, Jeff, we're not changing the law on what types of people can own firearms. If they're disqualified currently, they would remain disqualified after this passes. So that age is going to have to be bumped up to at least 18 to buy a long gun and 21 to buy a handgun. I got so many texts hitting me right now, I can't even handle it all. Madonna says, thank you for your work. Thank you, Madonna. I've loved it. Joe says, thank you so very much. Good job, Iowans. Bubba says, thank you, Iowans. You're darn right. Nick says, IGO, let's enjoy this victory and keep our foot on the gas for all of our gun rights. Cheers. That's exactly the mantra, Nick. None of this changes anything. We don't sit back. Okay, we'll sit back for today. Maybe we'll sit back for tomorrow. You know what? It's Friday at 4 o'clock now, or 4 o'clock. Friday at 4 on Easter weekend. So let's agree to compromise, which is a dirty word here at Iowa Gun Owners. It says right there, no compromise. Let's agree to compromise. We can all sit back and relax and enjoy the Easter weekend that is upon us. And we should be forever grateful that God sent his son to die to save us and save all of us from our sins. That's not what this organization is directly about, but this organization is also about letting us now defend our lives on this earth with the Second Amendment that God also gave us. And so enjoy this time with your family. Enjoy this time celebrating this victory for freedom. And guys, we'll be right back at this fight in just a couple of days for the Second Amendment Preservation Act. It's going to be a big lift. We've been pushing for this with other organizations, sister organizations in Missouri, in Wyoming, in Ohio. And I can tell you it's going to be a big lift here in Iowa. It's going to take a lot of work, take a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, a lot of pressure. And we're going to have to work on that. But that fight is going to begin. Alex says, this is absolutely the best Friday I've had in a very long time. I hear you, man. I'm the exact same way. Let's see. Sean says, repeat the date one more time. When does this law start? July 1st. July 1st. Be careful, folks. Don't be carrying out there with no permit right now. Yeah, you should be able to. It's your freedom, but be careful. Be careful. Wait till July 1st before you get yourself hemmed up with some BS charge. And let's see. It is Good Friday, says Julia Sense. I dig it. It's Good Friday. Yes, it is. Folks, that's what I got time for right now. Alex gets the last comment. Alex says, how do I become an official member of IGO? Alex, thank you for that question. Anybody who wants to get involved, simply go to joinigo.com. joinigo.com and get signed up. You can go to our full website if you wish, iowagunowners.org, and get signed up there. Be honored to have you, Alex. This is the safest no, we're not safe. We are a dangerous organization, dangerous to the politicians and dangerous to the lobbyists and dangerous to the aspirations of the media outlets who have tried to stifle freedom. We're going to continue being that voice for freedom. If you want to join up, Alex, today is the day. joinigo.com. You guys have a great day. I love you all so much. Thank you. Thank you for all of your work in making this a reality. Share this video, and we will be in touch.